Hello, welcome to your Atlantic hurricane season outlook from Microcasting Tropical. Let's just get right into it. Tropical storms expected this year. 14 hurricanes I expect this year. 8 and 3 major hurricanes. This is slightly above normal. And you can see normal is 12 tropical storms, 6 hurricanes, and 2 major hurricanes. Tropical storms are storms with winds of above 40 miles per hour. Hurricanes are storms with winds of above 75 miles per hour. And major hurricanes are hurricanes with winds of above 115 miles per hour. Let's get into the season in a nutshell. So, you can see the red area is where we're going to have well above normal activity. Some storms could get very intense. That is Category 5 possibilities. The orange area is above normal activity with storms getting intense that still could be Category 5, but you'll probably see Category 3s or 4s within this area. And then you can see storms to weaken within that blue area in the Gulf of Mexico. It's basically half of the Gulf of Mexico, and I will tell you why later. Around normal activity is in the green area. Storms will be at around normal intensity. That would be Category 1 or 2 most of the time. That doesn't mean it is impossible, though, for there to be a major hurricane, which would be an issue, would be something that we don't want. Normal activity in the light blue area, storms can still maintain intensity. Let's get into the probabilities of being affected by hurricanes this year. You can see the entire East Coast at around a 25 to 50% chance. You can see the northern portion of the Gulf of Mexico or the southern portion of the United States having a under 25% chance. A 25 to 50% chance of storms throughout all of Mexico. You can see 50 to 75% chance that goes down all the way until the beginning of South America, where things do go down to 25 to 50 on the western side before getting really high to 75 to 90% chance on the other side. And then you can also see most of the Antilles have a 90% chance of getting hit with a hurricane, 75 to 90% chance. And you can see all the lesser Antilles in that. But you can see small portion of the greater Antilles also within that. Cuba having a 50 to 75% chance of storms hitting there. Let's get into popular hurricane tracks. Most of them you can see are going to be a recurve to the north this year. Some of those could get a little deeper into the Gulf of Mexico or a little deeper into the Atlantic. You can see one popular track, though, takes it south and takes these storms into the Pacific Ocean. And we'll go over why exactly I chose all these tracks in a little bit. Let's get into why exactly, and so I guess we can just get right into it. So, taking a look at sea surface temperatures, you can see in the equatorial Pacific there is a cold splotch of water growing here. That's right around here, and that looks like it's going to continue to grow throughout the season. So that is going to be sinking air, allowing the Atlantic to have rising air around this corresponding area. The rest of the equatorial Pacific, though, is nice and warm. Not quite an El Nino. Probably won't be an El Nino. And if so, it'll be a very weak El Nino. But we really are in the warm bias neutral. And so that's just going to cause us some issues in forecasting. So just take this forecast with a little bit more, I guess less certainty than normal, because we're not quite as confident in this one. You can see, though, that the sea surface temperatures are very warm in the Atlantic in the main development region. Most of it's warm. There is a small cold splotch right here. Particularly intense storms will be here. These storms will likely move through, but you can see those below average sea surface temperatures, and some of those still pretty cold up north here, and this outlook could definitely change as time does go on. But especially below average sea surface temperatures that could weaken storms around the Florida Panhandle, Mississippi, Georgia, and Louisiana. So they're in probably the lowest risk for this season. The eastern seaboard here, you can see warm above average sea surface temperatures throughout most of it, with the very northern portion being cooler than average. That's up here. That's this cold splotch, which is from melting ice in Greenland. If we take a look also, some more determining factors is this cold water up here. So this cold water up here is going to make pressures higher and weaken any lows that head into the United States. So that's going to make it so there's less wind shear out in the Atlantic. So you have much less shear there. Also taking a look in the Atlantic, you can see this kind of semicircle, this African-Europe semicircle is very warm, well above average. We could see some extratropical storms heading into like the United Kingdom, Spain, Portugal. So that is definitely a danger. Alright, well thank you so much for watching this Atlantic hurricane season outlook from Microcasting Tropical.